Hey guys, this is Christian and welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to be doing a review of the 2016 Chevrolet Corvette. This is the 2LT. This isn't the Z06, the big fancy fast engine, unfortunately, but this car was stickered at $71,000 and it is almost fully spec'd in the 2LT like sub package, whatever you want to call it. I've had the car since Sunday. Right now it has almost 500 miles on it, so we did buy it brand new. Yeah, so this car has a 6.2 liter V8 with 460 horsepower and 450 pounds of torque. This is the 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters. And this car all around is absolutely fantastic. Now, if you take a look back at the previous models of the Corvette, the 2013 and below, the Corvette was a nice looking car, but it was still showing its age, and there was still a lot that Chevy needed to do to bring it up to speed with the cars we have now. And they did that incredibly with the new. Let me change the drive modes here. With the new rear fascia and the front, just the whole car completely is amazing. The only thing that shows a little bit of its age are still the mirrors. They still, just looking at them, they still look a little old and dated. But yeah, so there's a lot I want to show you in this car, from the infotainment system to the performance exhaust that this comes with. This also has I think it has the Z51 performance package, I'm not quite sure, but it does have the spoiler, blacked out grille, blacked out wheels, and I know you guys are gonna love it, so here we go. So here, just starting with the engine, you'll be able to see how good this thing sounds with this much horsepower. If I put it into sport mode here, try to roll the window down. And that was already 65. Just like that, 65. And the 0 to 60 in this is 3.7 seconds, so it is very, very quick. In the Z06, it's 2.9, even quicker, which keeps up with the Lamborghini Aventador. Also, the top speed on this car is 190, but even with as much power as you have, this car is still a very comfortable car to drive on a daily basis. The seats are very, very comfortable depending on which option you opt for. I think there's a racing seat as well you can get, which aren't as cushioned, but it has more bolster in the seat to keep you centered on turns and stuff like that. But these do have the leather seats, very, very comfortable. As well as this car has 5 different drive modes. It has weather, eco, touring, sport, and track. So the eco mode is supposedly where you get best gas mileage. Touring is where you get the best ride. The suspension is a little bit softer, so you don't feel as much of the bumps in the road, and the steering is it's not as sensitive in touring. Weather turns on all your safety features, traction control, all like that, and also you can toggle traction control with the button here in this knob, and this is also how you change your drive options, by turning the knob left or right. Sport, this car does come with a quad tip exhaust, and depending on which mode you're in, it closes 2 of the tips to give you a quieter or louder sound depending on which mode you're in. So right now I'm in touring for the sake of the video, so the car's not so loud so you can hear my voice, which closes 2 of the tips, but it's still a very, very comfortable ride. Sport, the steering is a little stiffer, the suspension is stiffer, and it shifts at a different ratio than I think than it would in sport or eco or anything like that. This also has a track mode, which kind of limits everything. I think it takes off traction control. It shifts quicker, the steering is a lot stiffer, suspension is tuned for pretty much maximum performance, but it also drinks gas in track mode. This car's average gas mileage combined is, I think, 27, I want to say. I'm not entirely sure. The sticker's in the glove box. Also, I will have a link to a picture of the sticker in the description of this video, if you want to check out all the options it has, because it does have a lot, and some I may not even mention. The Corvette's kind of standard in all the Corvettes, even in years prior to this. This is the coupe. You can get a convertible car as well. I'm not a fan of the soft top, so I opted for the coupe. The roof is removable. It is a T-top, so it's manually removable. Of course, you have to stop and get out of the car and take it off yourself. but this car actually came with two different roofs. It came with a clear one, tinted clear one, kind of like a closed sunroof style, and it's black on top. And the one I'm using right now is a carbon fiber roof painted white. Personally, I think the white looks better on the top, so I don't have the clear one right now. But they are removable, and it's very easy to remove. You can do it with one person. You don't need two people. The roof is very light. It's around 16 pounds. But, now, even though this car does only have 2 seats and it is a hatchback, it still has a very spacious trunk, surprisingly. Now, the trunk is connected right to the cabin, I guess, here. So whether or not you like that, I'm not entirely sure. But you can fit at least one full-size suitcase back there, or 2 smaller size suitcases, surprisingly. But you still do have a lot of room, so it's not that bad. This car also has the Bose sound system, and it does have a sub in the back, so the audio system does sound very, very, very nice. Quality may have shifted a bit here. I had to switch cameras just so you could get the first-person view here. But yeah, so from the inside here, it still does look very, very nice, obviously, from the driver's perspective. There's my GoPro rearview mirror. This is a edgeless mirror, so there's no black border on the edge, which is nice. And it is touch screen right here for OnStar, which is Chevy's like emergency contact SOS. I assume that calls 911. I don't care to press it to find out. I'm not entirely sure what this button does. I think it's for the might be for the heads-up display, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so from driver's perspective here, as you can see there, we are in sport mode, just idle. And like I mentioned before, to change that, it's this knob. So if I want to go to touring, which is left, I just turn this knob once to the left like that, and now I'm in tour. And turn it again, eco, weather, and then turn it back, sport, track. Now, the infotainment system in this car is fantastic. As you can see, all the buttons you have here on the wheel, but here is the system. Something cool that I thought the Chevy engineers did well was the screen button right here. If you press this button, the screen goes down and there is a little compartment in the back. That's my other GoPro case, and I was charging the GoPro back there. But it is a pretty spacious compartment back there. Not entirely sure what you'd use it for, but just like a spare compartment, maybe change or something like that. Because other than the cup holder space, and this is your 12-volt power outlet. And this is your center console. Now, the center console is not very deep. It's only about maybe 2 inches deep, so there's not much you can fit in there. There is 2 USB adapters and another 12-volt power outlet right there. So I guess this could come in handy at times. Also, the glove compartment right here. Again, not a lot of space, but still somewhere to keep your owner's manual and stuff like that. As you can see, the Corvette logo is on the top of the shift knob, and it does say 8-speed, which I think is very cool. Here's your parking brake. Seat presets, depending on how many people drive the car on a daily basis, or typically. Lock and unlock, windows, mirror adjustment. This car also does have the heads-up display here, which I think is very cool. The first car I've ever driven that has a heads-up display. Still haven't gotten used to it. I find myself still looking down at the screen here, other than the heads-up display, just because I'm not typically used to seeing that there. But still, very, very cool addition. And also does display your music there whenever you change songs and stuff like that, so that's very cool. Here is how you adjust the height of the heads-up display. You can move it up and down in this little box, which is pretty cool. Info, which changes the way you view the heads-up display. So this is the one I like to keep it at. But there's also this one, this one, this one, and back to that. And this changes the brightness of the heads-up display here too, which is pretty cool. This is your dimmer switch for the display in the back. And here is the screen. I'm not quite sure the size of the screen, but you do have many, many, many options within this system. So right here, this is kind of my standard mode. It gives you the RPM and your current speed. But as you press these buttons here, up, down, this is your navigation. There's your trip. I haven't reset that. Trip A, trip B, standard stuff. Fuel range, instant, fuel economy. Speaking of which, fuel economy, this car does get, I think, 27, 25 combined with a highway of 29 and city is 18. So it's still decent. My average is still pretty low just because it's new and I've been pushing it a little bit. Tire pressure, last 50 miles, best mile per gallon. So best is 27 in the last 50 miles, worst, or regular average right now is 16.2. So still not terrible for the kind of engine you get. It tells you how many gallons of fuel you've used, your current speed limit, depending on what road you're on. We are in a private residential area, so it doesn't list the speed limit. Engine hours, lifetime revs, and then back to speed. Now, if I press left here on this, you can change your home screen. So if you want to change it to performance and click this, it gets rid of the speed in the center, but it gives you more options as you scroll through this. So G-force, another G-force menu, oil temperature, oil pressure, battery voltage, transmission fluid temperature, tire temperature, and then back to regular. So now from performance, if you go down, you can go down to audio, and this will display your media, and you can change radio stations from there and stuff like that. Phone, which will display, if I click this, no phone's connected right now, so I'll say no phone connected. That just gives you call options and stuff like that. Navigation, it'll show you your current area in the map, but since I don't really want to show you guys where I'm at right now, another kid driving by, I'm not going to click that. And settings, so you can change US to metric through here. The display, you can change the display around a little bit, but for the most part, that's pretty much all you can do right there. As you can see, US metric, stuff like that. So if we go back to info, so where I tend to keep it, now the screen here, sorry about that. Right here is for your music. This is call options, navigation. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Don't want to click it because I don't want to show you where I'm at. SMS, pretty cool feature here. This car, I think most Chevy cars, but I know this one because never owned a Chevy other than this one. But if you click SMS, it has a CarPlay feature, which means if you connect your phone via Bluetooth or cable, it will display your phone's home screen on the screen here. So it's trying to make you not use your phone while you drive, but I feel like looking at the screen is almost just as worse because you're still looking away from the road. But it shows you your text messages and calls, and I know it works with the iPhone. I'm not entirely sure if it works with Android or other carriers or devices, but I know it works for the iPhone. But yeah, and it does use Siri through there too as well, so for navigation and stuff like that. Now here you have a camera option, which is pretty cool. So it doesn't work when you're in park or at a certain speed, so I would assume over 15-20 miles an hour. But say I do put this in drive, and say you're pulling into a parking spot, if I press the camera option here, it kind of does what BMW does, where it gives you like that front view of the car. So if I pull up to something, it'll show you how close it is on here, so you know when to stop. And this is also a front view. It does have front-facing cameras, so very convenient when parking, because this is a low car, so just so you don't scratch up the nose. So if you put this back in park, that goes away, and menu options and stuff like that. But other than that, that's pretty much the system there. A lot of options, still very nice. And here are all your buttons. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Almost every car has this range of buttons. It's just where they're positioned. So but yeah, so here's your temperature control, which is pretty cool, how the number is within the dial, and fan speed, stuff like that. And also the passenger does have their own personal controls over here on the right. So for temperature and heated and cooled seats. And then here's a view to the back. As you can see, the sub back there. And for the roof, this thing should be pushed in like that, actually. But yeah, so I feel like that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. To open the doors, actually, there's a button instead of a lever, but if the battery dies for whatever reason, I don't know if you can see this, but there is a lever down there if your battery dies, so it's kind of like a manual opening, but this is typically for a button. But yeah, this has been the review of the 2016 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray 2LT. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Any questions or comments, please comment in the comment section below. Many more videos coming soon. I believe the next video you should be seeing is a 2014 Range Rover Sport. I have the okay from the owner, just have to record that. And you will be seeing the Borla Attack exhaust system for the Dodge Challenger. I have that recorded, just have to edit it and then upload it. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, comment, even subscribe if you want to. And I will see you guys in the next video. See you. Bye.